I'm Max Sterling, welcome to LarpGasm. Today we're going to make a set of winingas, or puttees, or puttees, or Viking leg wraps, or leg wraps, whatever you want to call them. We're going to make a set for LARP. Now, I'm not making these historically accurate, they're not going to be authentic, because the games I play, it doesn't matter. If you're doing stage play, cosplay, regular old LARPs, it's not necessary that this stuff is period accurate. If you're doing something that is period accurate, then you'll need to get the correct fabrics and all of that. But for the rest of us, you know, this is all we need. It just needs to look the part and hold up. So what I'm going to do is attempt to make a $2 pair of these. I went out and got a half a yard of fabric. This is felt. It's not wool or linen or anything like that. If you can get, you know, the proper fabrics, then that's fantastic. But this was $2. So that's what I bought. And to me, I think it'll look the part when it's with the costume. And for some of you, this may very well be enough fabric for you. If your calves are the size of my forearms, this might be all you need. My calves are a lot bigger than that. They're about 21 inches around, so I'm gonna need probably all this fabric. I'm hoping I can cut it and it'll work and I don't have to splice anything together, but I may have to get creative or go buy more fabric. But I'm hoping to be able to do it with this $2 sort of remnant that I found for sale. And we're gonna go ahead and get started. So the first step is going to be to cut this, and we're gonna cut it long ways. Now, these are usually, about that thick. I'm gonna make these a little bit thinner because I need to make sure I can get 2 of them out of this, but I may need to get 4 of them out of this. So I'm gonna measure it and see where it is. I'm gonna mark off 4 lines using chalk, and then that way I can cut them. And if I need to splice it together to get, more yards or more meters or feet of length, I can do that. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this off first. And some of you may say, well, why go through all the trouble? Well, I know a lot of people are on a budget. This is going to be a $2 set versus, $15, $20, $30, $60, $100 sets that I see for sale online. The only reason I haven't bought this off the internet is because I bought a tunic, I bought a pair of pants, and they were less than what they sell these leg wraps for. So I thought I could just do this myself, and I hope that you find this video useful. So this is 20 inches. 20 divided by 4 is 5. So every 5 inches we got a mark. So 5, 10, 15, 20. Alright, so now the crackhead that cut this at the store for me obviously didn't know how to cut straight lines, so you may not end up having this be perfect, but we're going to get it close. And I think it not being perfect kind of lends itself to, being handcrafted and not machine created, so hopefully this works out. And if your forearm's not strong enough to cut through, a couple layers of fabric, you may have to do this just, one time and lay it all out, or just double it over and cut it. I'm just going to kind of do it quickly here and cut through in fourths, and hopefully my scissors are sharp enough. And I am just eyeballing this. And for you, that may be a-okay, but for me, I think I'm going to need more. So if you have a calf that is maybe like 13 inches or so, let's go ahead and wrap this up here. Alright, so if you have a calf that is maybe like 13 inches or so around, like that would probably be okay for you. That's probably enough fabric to wrap. For me, my calf is, you know, almost twice that size, so I'm gonna need a lot more fabric. So what I'm gonna do is take 2 of these and attach them end to end. Like that. Now you can hand sew that depending on the fabric. I'm just going to fabric glue it because this is felt. It's going to be a lot faster and a lot easier on me. So we'll go ahead and do that right now. So we're going to glue this together. We just want to make sure it overlaps a little bit. Like I said, if you wanted to, you could sew this as well. So here it is, $2 Viking leg wrap. And basically, like I said, if you're doing a cosplay or a weekend event, this would be fantastic for you. If you're doing like a school play or Halloween costume, this would be perfect. It was $2, and I have one for each leg, and they're long enough, and they look the part. And you know, I think these should probably make it through a whole LARP season. If you manage to not get them too wet or dirty, and if you hand wash it, you'd probably be okay. But it is felt, so it's not going to last, you know, forever. If you start with a better material, then it probably would last longer. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you, you know, maybe 1 or 2 ways to actually wear these, and that way you know what you're doing with them. You want to start with it rolled up, and this might look a lot bigger than what you end up with because, like I said, my legs are a lot bigger, but you basically just want enough fabric that's going to cover your calf, unless you're planning to wrap it down into your shoe, which a lot of people do. I, however, would not do that because I wear modern shoes when I LARP, and this would just make it really uncomfortable to walk. But if you're trying to be period, you know, accurate or authentic, then you may want to do that. Now, a lot of people make sure you wrap this starting with the end up here going down. However, you're not really supposed to wrap that direction. Anyone with a medical background can tell you that. So we're actually going to do it the opposite way that a lot of people may show you how to do this online. We're going to start down at the bottom. Now, if doing this either way makes you uncomfortable, then don't do it this way. There's other ways to wrap it, but I'm going to show you this way because it's a very nice, easy, clean way to wrap without requiring any sort of pins or anything. So I'm going to run it down your foot like that. Put your hand here. We're going to make a loop right by your knee, and then we're going to just roll it on down. And you want to make sure, of course, that your legs on your pants are sort of pegged back, which mine are. When you get down here, you're going to make sort of a like a 45-degree angle, and then from there it's just a matter of rolling, and you want to keep it nice and tight. And I would say to have probably about maybe 1.5 to 2 inch sort of overlap. People may vary on that number, and you know, historically there may be a number to go for, but I think it looks best probably at about somewhere between 1.5 to 2 inches. And then once you get it up on there, you'll take what you have left, put it through this loop, however much you have, and then from there we grab this sort of tag down at the bottom and we just pull it. And what that does is it sucks that down inside and gives you a nice clean ending. So that is a Viking leg wrap. You can take this excess and you can stick it down in your boot, or you can stick it up inside the bottom. And that's pretty much what you have. I mean, you can get a lot cleaner than that if you take your time, put your leg up on something, but you know, just doing this in front of the camera, you know, that's on there. So that's one way to do it. And you could unroll this while you take it off, but you know, it's up to you. I think it's easier to roll it this way, but probably rolling it as you take it off is probably a better habit. But if you notice that seam on there where I joined the fabric is hardly noticeable, but if you get a cut of fabric that's long enough, you wouldn't have to do the part where I glued it together to make it longer. Like I said, if you have smaller legs than me, you wouldn't even have to do that part. And it would make it look that much better. If you happen to have, you know, a linen Viking pant or the correct period pants and tunic, and maybe even socks or something to go along with this costume, it's going to allow people to overlook sort of the cheapness of this. However, I mean, if you want a really cheap costume, I mean, these are a Viking pant that I bought. However, I think you could probably wear, in a pinch, you could probably wear like distressed scrubs or very faded scrubs, some like brown sort of natural looking socks. These are actually those, and of course this is my t-shirt tunic that I'm wearing. Now the other way you can wrap this is just to sort of start at the top, right above your calf, because you need to be above your calf muscle in order for it to stay up. And from there, basically just start wrapping. If you have any sort of mummification fetish, this will probably do a little something for you. If you don't, this may give you one. But if not, don't worry about it. Either way, you're going to learn how to do your Viking leg wrap. Make sure that you don't let yourself get gaps. You got to make this tight enough that you're not getting gaps and making it look weird. You want it to be nice and tight and look really solid when you wear it. Because if you got someone who has the actual proper leg wrappings, but they didn't wrap it very well, you're going to look way better in your $2 wrap than they do. And then from there, you can either wrap it around and then tuck it, or I had so much extra I could have wrapped it down around my foot. I'm just going to choose to take and actually tuck it in. And then there's another way to do it. And like I said, it's kind of sloppy. I'm not really looking at my lines, but you want maybe like 1.5 inches, 2 inches. If you have a smaller leg, maybe 1 inch will get you by. If you're trying to do something historically accurate, I mean, there may be actual measurements for that, but you know, I think that that's fairly good for what we're trying to do. Get yourself a decent looking period shoe, or if you really don't care for your game, I mean, you know, some boots, and you should be good to go. But to me, you know, it looks from a distance, you know, probably like wool. Close up, you know, someone who knows something about fabrics would probably know that it's felt, but I think the general public, you know, wouldn't even know that these are $2 leg wraps. So I think they work out well, and I'm definitely going to use them for costuming. And I hope that you found this video helpful. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Definitely like this video, and be sure to tell everyone that you know about it. I appreciate the support, and of course, as always, adventure on.